Hi, this is Kristen from the Amplify Ambition podcast. I joined the Online Business Academy for podcasters because I needed help with creating offers that align to my podcast mission without overthinking each and every step. My favorite part about being an Academy member is our Q&A calls because the community gives me new ideas of podcast topics and also future steps to take with clear and concrete action steps.
What's up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's a show where I teach podcasters simple strategies to help you make more money, get more clients, and build a profitable online business. Today, we're talking about solving the problem of how do we convert more of our listeners into paying clients. I'm doing a live coaching episode with my friend Jen. My pod pal Jen came on the show. And we're really diving into, should you niche down and rebrand again? She had recently just niched down and rebranded, but we kind of came to the point where it really makes sense to discuss this and how do we approach this if you've already done a recent rebrand, even within the last year. So we're going to dive into this. I've been getting a lot of emails, I should say, from you all saying, hey, how do I get to do one of these coaching audit sessions? And my answer is you need to be on my email list. You need to be on my Podcasting Business School newsletter list, because when I have spots open or when I am ready to record a series of these, I send an email to my newsletter list and say, hey, I've got 8 spots, first come, first serve, go get them or apply here or whatever. And Jen took quick action and got one of those. So I'll put the link in the episode notes for you to be able to sign up for my Podcasting Business School newsletter. You should be on it anyway, honestly. Every Thursday, I send a high value add newsletter, and it is on a completely different topic than what you're getting here on the Tuesday audio podcast episode. So if you're only listening to my podcast, you're only getting 50% of my very, very best stuff. And my newsletter is more people read my newsletter than listen to the show. Let's put it that way. It's really well received, high open rate. People really, really get a lot out of it. So make sure you are subscribed to the Podcasting Business School newsletter. I'm not going to put you in a big email funnel or anything. You're just going to get a welcome email that explains when my newsletter is going out, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to start getting them on Thursdays. Boom. Simple. So check the link in the show notes for that. Otherwise, we are going to dive on into episode number 604 here, talking about should you niche down and rebrand again. All right, we are here with my pod pal, Jen. And she is the host of Mindset Breakthroughs for Solopreneurs. We're going to do a little podcast, listener to client conversion audit. Jen, welcome to Podcasting Business School.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm so excited.
Okay, so I want to get our audience up to speed real quick, and then I got a few qualifying questions. So the name of your podcast, which you have rebranded, and I'll give you the badge of the good job check mark. So now it's called Mindset Breakthroughs for Solopreneurs. We've got 26 podcast episodes released. We got about 135 people on the email list. So first off, the good job stuff. Your first name was SheEO, which so many people go with a made up word for their podcast name. Does it make sense? It's like creative, it's catchy. But there's no keyword. It doesn't help us at all. It actually prevents people from finding us. So I support that you have changed it. I think that's a great move. So well done there. The second thing I noticed, I want to compliment you on, is you do a ton of solo episode content, and I've listened to several episodes. They're really, really good and excellent. Short. Here's a tip. Here's a strategy. Let's go. Implementable stuff. I love it. Third thing, I know this seems like not a thing, but I feel like this is a thing. You're numbering your episodes. Good job. A lot of people don't number their episodes. And as coaches, consultants, teachers, we go to other people's podcasts, we speak on stages. And when we can reference a specific episode, it's much easier for people to find that episode versus go check out the one about blah, blah, blah. And then you've got 26 episodes, and that's hard enough to find. I've got 590 episodes. Like, there's no way they're going to find it if I don't number it. So those are 3 things that you're doing great with. Well done. My first question for you is I need you to, in as much detail as possible, describe your ideal client avatar. Who is the person that you can help the most, the fastest, that you enjoy helping the most?
I would say she is a 40-something coach and course creator, and she is working from home. She may or may not have a 9 to 5. She works on sometimes she works on nap time hours. Her kids might be in school. She's making about one to $2,000 a month in her business, and she's busy. She's busy doing all the things that don't move the needle. And she gets tripped up in fear. She gets tripped up in what if it works? What if it doesn't work? All these what if questions. And she's got so much information that she doesn't know what to do with any of it. So she ends up doing nothing instead. But at the same time, she's got a lot on her heart. She's got a great message. She's really, really good at what she does, but she's stuck spinning in Canva. She's doing cleaning the house, she's making sure the laundry's done before she sits down to work, and when she does work, it's, not productive, and so that's, not only eating away at her financially, but she feels like a failure because she's, like, so much better than what's going on with the procrastination and perfectionism and all that.
Okay. I love how dialed in you are on your avatar. And I kind of knew that you were going to come at me with all this because listening to your show, I felt how dialed in you are. Like it's you can sense the fact that this is a transformation you've gone through yourself and you have come out the other side of it. And, so I can really sense that connectedness. So this is good. Now, with this ideal client avatar, what are the problems when they come and hand over money and pay you? What problems are you great at solving for this person?
I'm really good at getting them to start taking needle moving action, meaning getting them out of procrastination, getting them to see the bigger picture of where they're going instead of the swimminess of all the things that they need to do. I guess helping them focus on one thing instead of several things. And just like, are you asking me, okay, so what's the problem that I can solve? So they've got 85 tentacles and they've got 85 things in the pot. And so I help them focus, narrow it down to the one thing that they actually want.
Okay.
Help them do the one thing.
So would you say that it's kind of like big picture business simplification or like next step strategies, or or do you ever get more specific of like you identify what the problem is? Let's say the problem is they need to launch their online course and then you help them launch an online course, or does it stop at the online course is your next thing, go do it, or are you helping them do that next thing?
This is a really good question, because they already have the strategy, they're not using it. And so where I come in is I help with, subconscious reprogramming, with nervous system regulation, and all the things that are blocking them from using the things that they already have.
Got it. Okay. Okay. That helps big
Okay.
time. I know you do NLP and stuff like that. That was
Yes.
showing up in the information that I saw.
Yep. What I
Um,
don't do is help them grow a business, like, here's how to launch, here's how to do messaging. That I don't teach because the people that I work with already know all that stuff because they bought all the courses, they've invested in the coaches, but they're not using it.
okay. Okay. Cool. So the people that we want to attract, that's kind of the next step of the puzzle we're putting together here. We don't want to attract complete online business newbies then. Like people that are like, I don't know how to create a course. I don't know how to write a newsletter. I don't know how to do this stuff. You're actually looking for people that are kind of on the other side of I have tried all of this stuff and for some reason I can't get myself to do it. But what the probably thing is this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
Is that the right vibe?
I've got 10 different content creation courses and I've done them all for 2 weeks and I'm not doing anything.
Okay. All right. This is why I call them clarifying questions. I now have clarity. And this is where I was kind of thinking um, that we were going to go. I'm okay. Strategies. I've got several strategies. But one thing I want to I want you to just think about. All right. This is just me, getting eyeballs on what's going on here. Something that may be helpful. And I don't know if this applies to the branding of your show, the content offers, or all the above. But I think we got to get more specific with I think we need to niche down another level to get more specific to
Mhm.
attract that person. Because right now, you follow with the name of your show and the branding of your show, you are following my perfect podcast naming formula, but you're still in the big bucket. Mindset breakthroughs for solopreneurs nowhere in there am I getting, I'm helping these moms. You know what I'm saying? Like that, to me, that's the most important part of your avatar is this like mompreneur person that's got all of the stuff and can't get it going. Can't,
Mhm.
is having that mental breakthrough of implementation. I feel like that's the most important part of your ideal client avatar. And we don't get any of that with the name of your show.
Can I
Um,
can I ask a question?
yeah, of course.
So, I've thought about that, and the way that I help people, it doesn't make a difference if they're a mompreneur or not, so I ended up leaving it out.
Um, but would you say your ideal client is a mom entrepreneur?
They
You said
mostly they
she a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
They mostly
um,
are just because I am, and that's who I attract.
yeah. I mean, I
But
think, I mean, I would, again, this is like just an exploration filter. I would explore going to that level
okay,
with some of this
sure.
because there's a lot of them. There's an endless supply of those mom entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
And it's just like with the big brush topic of mindset breakthrough for solopreneurs, you are out there battling with a lot of big brands that have big marketing teams, big ticket offers, big name recognition people. And so you have to go like, why are they going to find me, choose to listen to my content and choose to hire me over these people that are marketing to them with ads and all this other stuff. Like
Sure.
it's a hard battle to fight. So example for me, I could be in the big business bucket, the online business bucket, and I'm competing against Amy Porterfield and $4 million of ads and all this stuff. But I'm like, I'm an online business coach for podcasters. That's like shrunk down,
Mhm.
scary because there's less of them, but I can be the person for those people. So like I can be the people's champion way more effectively. And it's really worked well for me. I did the same thing in the health and fitness space back when I first started. So I would consider it, again, whether it's a naming of the show thing, but I think at least with your content and your messaging and your offer promotion, I think that it will help as far as just like really, I mean, a simple strategy I've been teaching people with these calls and the things that I've been doing lately with my content is, especially when you do a solo episode, go in there, do your normal, your normal intro. And then in the beginning, I want you to mention, one problem I love helping my clients solve is name the problem. And go in today's episode, that's what we're diving into. And that like associates you as a coach that helps real life people. Like one problem I love helping my mompreneurs solve is do like the thing that hits home emotionally, say that thing, and then you dive into it. Then the call to action at the end is so we built up some momentum today. As a mompreneur, I know how important it is to blah, 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 blah. If you could use some help with this specifically, you need to go next level of help. Here's your next step, CTA to discovery call. I like doing that next step as a free thing versus go get my course, unless the paid thing is less than $100. If anything is less than $100, we can pitch a thing. But if it's more than 100, which most coaching services are more than that, and I think they should be, is hey, let's talk about working together. Here's my blah 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 discovery call. That's a great next step because if they've listened to the whole episode, and your stuff isn't like 10 hours long, it's like 14-minute episode, 15-minute episode. They're going to buzz through that on their walk. They drop the kid off from school, they go for a walk, or they're on the way to work or whatever. They can listen to that. They hear that CTA and they hear it over and over and over again. If you build up some momentum, the next logical step would be let's connect and talk about how I can help you out. So I mean, I would like that simple calling out the problem, identifying yourself as a solver of this type of problem, and then give a really simple call to action at the end. Any thoughts or aha moments there? Questions?
I really like that, especially get with the hook right in the beginning, because I know that that's something that I don't do. I'm thinking, do I niche down to coaches and course creators versus mompreneur? Because when I say the word mompreneur, like it just that's why it's not called the Mompreneur podcast, because that the name mompreneur for some reason it just doesn't do it for me. I'm totally like most of the people, like I said, I help mompreneurs, but I'm wondering if I niche down even farther to coaches and course creators.
I Yes to all of the above.
Okay.
I really think it's coaches and course creators that are moms in that solopreneurship bucket,
Mhm.
done all the things, and just being really clear. Like when it comes to your offer and your solutions and you're bridging towards it, you have to be really clear of who is a good fit, who isn't. So I think the messaging of like, I mean, I really like it when you're like, they've got all the courses, they've signed up, all the things are sitting there and they just aren't implementing. That would be a keyword that I would tend to use probably a lot too. It's just like, I'm not implementing. I mean, not doing the damn thing that I'm supposed
Uh-huh.
to be doing. So using that language a lot of you are the person that breaks through that wall. We get organized. We figure out the first domino to knock over. We knock over that domino, and now you're building momentum.
Mhm.
And then you're there to support them as they initiate momentum or whatever, however it works. I would just be saying that over and over and over again.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I would explore with the naming of the show. If we could call out to coaches, course creators, moms, or just have something there that I think that would be effective.
Mhm.
I think that would be a good move.
Okay.
And the good news is you're 26 episodes deep. And I talk about this a lot, but like the first 100 episodes, that seems like a lot, and it is a lot, and it seems like a far way away from where you're at even. The first 100 episodes, we are figuring out what we're doing as
Yeah.
podcasters. It's like we're exploring niche topics. We're naming, we're rebranding. I mean, I think the perfect time to rebrand multiple times is in the first 100 episodes. Don't wait till you have 500 episodes and go, oh, I've been talking about the wrong thing the whole time. No, like let's get this fixed sooner than later, Jen. So because sometimes people feel that, take that as a loss or a failure, or they think that that's a bad thing, but it's a good thing to go, okay, nope, repivot. Now you'll feel it, Jen, like you and your audience will too. And the right people start finding you. You feel that alignment with your content, your ideal client avatar. It's working. The right people are finding you. They're being obsessed, becoming obsessed with your content. And then you're positioning yourself as a coach, and it just starts to work with a simple call to action. And it starts just, this funnel appears. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
this is what I thought it would be like. And it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Okay.
So we feel okay just about that topic in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. And that was one other thing that I just wanted to put out there is that I know like in the information, like I'm not growing, I'm trying a lot of stuff, I'm not making sales. And it's just like, we're still, if you're a sub 100 episodes, we're just figuring like, I don't want you,
Settle down, Jen.
well, I just don't want you to beat yourself up. Like I want you to give yourself a chance. Like I appreciate the fire and the competitiveness. I think that's going to be a good thing. That's going to help get you through this, but don't let that positive energy turn into a negative thing where you beat yourself up. Like, why isn't that, like you're on a very normal journey right now. Like this is super normal for what I see as you're like, you're not that weird black sheep. That's like, why? Well, I really expected her to be at 1 million downloads by now. I wonder why she's so screwed up. Like that's not what you're experiencing at all.
Yeah.
And from my lens, does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, I understand.
I just want to put that out there. It's kind of like Big Brother podcaster guy.
Thank you.
Okay. Other strategies I think will help. Coaching episodes. What we're doing here, I think the best way to make yourself the people's champion of your niche down avatar is to grab those people and coach them like what we're doing right here and get them on the dang show. You'll have to drag people on it first a little bit. You might have to get some actual clients and go, hey, I'm going to give you a bonus session. I need you to come on the show, first name only. You don't have to, I'm not going to tag you on social. You just need the content and show off what you are doing. So,
Mhm.
for prep for this type of episode, I have done hundreds of them. So I kind of got the routine down, but, I spent about 10, 15 minutes this morning, just kind of exploring your feed and looking through stuff, finding clarifying questions, coming up with some strategies. I've taught the strategies over and over and over again, so I don't need many notes on any of that. And you're the same way on your topic. So, but the key thing is just letting your audience of potential ideal clients sit on the wall and go, oh, wow, this is what it's like to be coached by Jen. And then started seeing you as that person. Like people have literally listened to me coach hundreds of times before they hire me sometimes. Like they're like, I've been listening. The other day I did a discovery call. Somebody had been listening to me for 4 years. I'm like, that's a hell of a lot of episodes, man. That's pretty good. He's like, I've just heard you coach. And I knew that I wanted to hire you when it was the right time to hire somebody. And that's like, you're just lining up people that are ready to go when they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And so getting that type of content out there, showing off what you do, and just being able to think on your feet, I think it'll stimulate you too. At least it does for me. Like I always come up with new ideas and different angles to approach ideas. And I like the challenge of it. And I can see the competitive nature inside of you, Jen. So I think you're a gamer, as we say in sports talk. Like you're going to show up and you're ready to play. So any questions on how to pull this type of content off for your brand?
No, this is super clear, and I've already got some ideas spinning in my head.
Okay. And I think this will help with another thing. Um, and again, this comes from a place of love, Jen. Big brother Adam coming in. Really want you to try to do the weekly content thing. And I know you took a break just during the summer, which is very understandable for your niche and what, being a mom and being busy, and it kind of is a part of the avatar. But that's like, there's a pretty long, it's like 2 or 3 month break in there.
Yeah, I fell off the wagon.
We're going to lose momentum. Like we're going to lose momentum. So with these coaching episodes, we can batch these. These are easily batchable, and you don't have to sit there and be like, I got to come up with something new to say today, because it's all based off of the other person on the screen. Like your questions and your goals are driving this conversation, not my notes,
Mhm.
So you could do 2, 3 of these in once. And okay, now I've got a buffer of content ready to roll. And I would
Yeah.
love to see you, batch record. Like we're recording this in early November. We have to understand the danger zones that could disrupt our recording patterns. Like as parents, holiday season, really busy. Kids are in, winter break, and sports stuff is changing. And, that could be like, oh, now my normal recording schedule is completely out the window. So I'd like to see you have, a couple content, weeks of content buffered and recorded, kind of ready to go. You got that break the glass in case of emergency content ready to go. And that will get you through. Because I think with positioning yourself as an expert, what I tell people is if you can keep showing up for your audience, they'll keep showing up for you. And I know it'll become more and more motivational for you when you start getting clients and seeing audience growth and things like that. Like once that happens, you're like, oh, I'm never missing. This is great. But when you're living in Cricketville at first, it's really tough.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to encourage you there to think about batch recording, solo episodes, coaching episodes. I think that will help, and get that buffer so that if you are like, I've got sick kids, or like right now, everybody in my house is like sick with allergy season, and we're in the Midwest and it's terrible. And like last week, I couldn't record an episode because my voice sounded worse than it does right now. And I'm starting to sound like Batman voice already. So like, welcome to your podcast, Audit, Jen. So that's an issue, and I have a content buffer, so no problem. So any thoughts, pushback? I'm open to, to
No,
anything.
I was hoping you were gonna call me out on my consistency, because you're right. I did fall off the wagon there for the last couple months. And that's one of the reasons why I was excited to do this call, because it
Good.
just rejuvenates me.
Good.
Yeah, I've got some good ideas going on. So when it comes to, and I know that I've heard you talk before about having one CTA.
Mm. Per
Do
episode.
Am I putting like, 'cause I think what makes the most sense is like a either like a Google form, or like a link to schedule a discovery call would make the
Yes.
most sense. Am I also putting my Instagram, or is that considered a second CTA?
Okay. Here's my rule. I've slightly adjusted this rule because I continuously break this rule. If it's like letter of the law, one verbal call to action on the show. Once we get to the show notes, you can list a few in there. So what I would do is
Oh,
I would have your other connection stuff. Like what I've kind of been doing is little blurb with my show notes, a little blurb about what the show's about. Just in case some people like to look at that. I honestly had somebody call me out and be like, you're not putting anything in there. I don't know what the episode's really about. Just give me a little preview. I'm like, all right, I'll write like 4 lines of here's what this is actually about. So I started doing that. Shout out to my audience. Then there's like a little line, and it's like the featured call to action. And then I have another little line that's like, here's some other stuff. And usually it's still only 1 or 2 other things. Usually it's like my newsletter and my discovery call. And maybe if I'm doing like a free workshop or something, I'll list that in there too. Or if I mention a resource in the episode, I'll list that there.
okay.
Verbally, honestly, the verbal CTA, I think for you would be, let's do a discovery call or something that's going to put them on your email list. Like
Okay.
one of those 2 things. I would say most of the time I would want discovery call right now. but just use that simple, like real easy transition of if you've got some momentum building out of this, then a great next step would be blah, blah, blah. We can explore working together. So yeah. And now, one thing you gotta be careful of with discovery calls, at some point in that onboarding process, you need to thoroughly explain what it is and what it isn't. And people give me a hard time sometimes because they sign up for a discovery call and they get to the end. My audience is full of jokers. I'll put it that way. It's very uh, like obviously stated in asterisk bold. This is not a free coaching call. Like it says it in every reminder email. It's like, this isn't a reminder, not a free coaching call, not a free coaching call, not a free. So a lot of my joker audience members, which I appreciate humor, they show up with good intentions, but the first thing they say is like, so I'm here for my free coaching call. Like, I know you're joking with me. You're investing in me. So is this the free coaching call that I signed up for? When do we get the free coaching segment? Sure. I'm like, that's a podcast audit. Sign up for that. So no, that you just need to be clear in that process so that you don't have the wrong people showing up thinking it is free coaching. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yep, totally.
So maybe in the show notes, it is like bold asterisk reminder. This is to talk about how I can help you as a paid coach, not a free coaching call. Just kind of have some of that in there.
Okay.
Okay. Coaching episodes. We talked about that batching content. What are your thoughts on the newsletter? I know you have some lead magnets. What would you consider? The only reason I'm bringing this up in the mom space, especially, I see people crush it with a newsletter. Because moms are like, you're doing the kid thing, you get a break, they get on their phone, they like to have like some education, like scrollable education, not just earbud education. So any thoughts on that?
I don't hate it because it would make content creating probably a lot easier. So I'm not always looking for ideas to send. So if it's one thing, one day a week, and just have all my, like I think I did one email that had like 4 different things in it. And it was great. I don't know why I didn't do it again.
Okay. Here's the thought, like real quick. I know we're running short on time, but I got so many ideas for you, Jen. I love the podcast plus newsletter combo. And I will say it, my newsletter is the most important part of my business. And even I'll go ahead and add this in there, even more this week, because my number one social media account got taken down by the platform. And when this releases, hopefully it's all fixed and better, but it was the worst day of my entrepreneurial career so far, by far. Like having that taken away sucked. I would be sunk if I didn't have an email list.
Yeah.
Like I would be screwed. I wouldn't be able to make money.
Yeah.
So the newsletter, it could be this simple, Jen. Like what day of the week are you releasing podcast content?
It was Mondays. I was kind of playing with it to see if there were other days that were better.
I like Monday. I wouldn't do Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Those are bad. I would do Monday through Thursday. I would keep it Monday. I like Monday for that. Then I would send a simple newsletter on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, maybe. But it could be this simple. Like I would prefer for the topic of it to be different than the podcast because we want people to want to open both because people will convert to being clients and doing discovery calls more from your newsletter than they will from the audio podcast. Because we're used to clicking on things and buying things and signing up for things via text, not I heard something and I'm going to go do something. So it could be just like you help women with breakthroughs. It could be a breakthrough story. It could be one of your stories, a client story, or just a real quick, like Thursday. Here's your Thursday quick breakthrough, like a little inspiration, just a little something there. Have you ever heard the Daily Stoic podcast? What that is? Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of almost like that vibe. It's like a real short, here's a little bit of momentum for you today. Just something to think about, something to consider to help you because you're dealing with people that are stuck.
Yeah.
It's like a get unstuck momentum boost, short. One simple call to action, again, to probably like a discovery call or something like, if you could use some help with this, bam. And then after that, you could have a little segment that's like, by the way, if you missed my podcast episode of the week, here's a quick little recap. Here's a link. So you have 2 links, the discovery call, CTA, and then podcast episode reference, done. And you could batch type those up Um, I'm actually doing this. I have a second email send of the week now that I'm calling Mentorship Monday. So my normal newsletter is on Thursday. I'm sending a second one on Mondays, only to people that open my emails in the last 14 days. So if people don't regularly open my emails, they're not getting extra emails, which
Ooh,
is
that.
a smart thing.
Yeah.
If you're not opening them, I don't want to give you more. It helps my open rate a lot. But Mentorship Monday, same thing, quick little daily stoic style, and then a call to action, super simple. But what I'm going to do, and you don't have to do this, I'm just excited to share this, is I'm doing 52 different mentorship lessons, and I'm going to create a like weekly devotional book for content creators, like a motivation for content creators. Kind of like I'm big into like, I've been reading this Napoleon Hill book for like 10 years. So it's a you read one thing per week. It's like a little weekly devotional thing for business. And it's like a little pep talk for the week. I've read it. Like I've wore it out. The covers have wore off the book because I read it for a decade. Every week, every Monday, I sit down, I read the 1-2 pages, whatever it is. So I'm going to do that. But it's kind of, that's the vibe that I could see you doing really well with. Because again, your audience is a bunch of people that are stuck, and we got to help them get unstuck. And to help somebody get unstuck, it's not going to take one podcast episode. It's going to take some additional resources. You got to kind of get that boulder rolling uphill first, and you got to help them push a little bit. So,
Yeah. So if you're thinking 2 emails a week, I can do Mondays and like Wednesday or Thursday.
I mean, I would think just one. I would just do one. I mean, I'm doing 2. Let's just start with 1 for you because we're starting at 0. Let's go to 1.
Well, 1 is including the podcast or no?
I would do a podcast episode audio on Monday. And I would put out a newsletter on Thursday, and that would be like it would have 2 parts. The motivation with a little call to action, and then a little, by the way, release an episode this week. Here's the topic real quick. Here's the link. Go check it out if you missed it. Like a little PS almost to the one newsletter.
Oh, okay. So what I was doing was I was sending an email on Monday about the podcast episode to get them to go listen to it. You're saying take that away?
I would, because we're going to email them anyway on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And that way we'll get them to listen to it there. So it'll serve, less but better. One email, multiple purposes. I think that'll work better.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's even less work.
And you'll have a better open rate because they see, here's the thing. We all get those promotional podcast emails from people that, were on their list. Like I get Amy Porterfield's. I know, like I don't have to open that email because it happens on a certain day. That's her podcast episode promo. I already listened to the thing. So it turns out people not opening your emails. Let's give them a reason to open your emails on Wednesday or Thursday because they want the little motivation thing that they can't get anywhere else. And then, oh, by the way, if you missed the episode this week, here's a little quick snippet about what that's about. There's a link to go get it. And you could almost just put that in the PS. I probably would try that. Like motivational thing. Here's the call to action, discovery call, sign off, sincerely, your pal, Jen. Then you go PS, just in case you missed my episode, here's what it's about. Here's the link. Bam.
Oh my gosh, that's so much easier.
So much simple. And I know we're 31 seconds over time, but let me say one more thing, Jen. Here's what I've done. Earlier this year, I started focusing on the newsletter. At that time, I had 2,600 people on my email list. Right now, it's like 4,300 something. And in that, from 2,600 to 4,300, I threw all my lead magnets in the trash. And I threw all my email funnels in the trash. I've done 0 since then. And I've grown that much on my email list because my only lead magnet is my newsletter. So it's the only thing I promote. I'm not going, go get this checklist, go get this free ebook, go get this mini course, go get this scorecard. Because people that get the scorecard just want the scorecard. They don't want my emails. If I promote, I'm like, here's what you're going to get with my newsletter. Point 1, point 2, like for you, be like weekly motivation, helping you get unstuck, Somebody opts into that. They want your emails and they're going to open them. Like your email is the value that they want. So the people that are on your list are of high quality. That open rate goes up. That helps everything. And now we just simplify it. So instead of going, hey, Jen, I want you to do another thing. I want you to write a newsletter. I just convinced you to do a podcast every week. Now I want you to do a newsletter every week too. But by doing the newsletter every week, we could potentially take away all lead magnets, all email funnel stress, and just simplify. Because nobody ever is like, please, I'd love to opt into your 49 email funnel and sell me something that costs $5,000 at the end. Please, said nobody ever. But that's what everybody's still doing. Like, I don't want to do that to my people. Like, if somebody opts in to my newsletter, you're going to get a welcome email that says, hey, here's what you're getting. And I ask people to respond to me so I can like give them some guidance or a tip or whatever. And that's the funnel. And then they start getting my newsletter. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, and now here's your 5 email nurturing sequence. I don't even do that.
Yeah.
And
Trim the fat. Trim the fat. I love it.
we're overly marketed to, we're overly emailed to, we're overly sold to. Why do we want to add to the noise? Like I want people like us to be in the simplification side of the equation. And I think that's going to make us stand out. So I gave you a lot of stuff to think about. I have some more things that I'll email you because we didn't get to everything. But I want to give you a second to shout out your website, social media brand. If people want to connect and support you and your brand, where do they go?
I'm over on Instagram at I am Jen Lemke, and my website is jenlemke.com. L-E-M as in Mary K-E.
All right, Jen, I appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Hey there, good looking. Just a quick reminder to hit that link in the show notes and get signed up for my free Podcasting Business School newsletter. I'm going to send you a fresh, hot newsletter every single Thursday with some of my best podcast launch, growth, and monetization strategies. Hit that link in the show notes and keep your eyes on your inbox.